very much, Mr. Chairman, and let me congratulate you on your chairmanship here. And I see that the chair of the Appropriations Committee is back, and I congratulate Chairman Cole as well. We have been on this side of the dais for a number of occasions and look forward to our working together. I want to acknowledge Ranking Member McGovern and the distinguished members of this committee. I strongly support passage of the 3 supplemental appropriations bills in this national security funding package. This legislation provides the support for our allies that has been desperately needed for months. It supports Ukraine against Russian aggression, Israel in its war against Iran and its proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, our Indo-Pacific partners against an adversarial China, and it provides the urgently needed humanitarian aid for millions of civilians who have been caught in the crossfire across these theaters. Innocent families are in danger, children are starving, and civilian casualties are mounting in conflict zones all around the world. The humanitarian support in this bill would make sure that we are not leaving the Gazans, the Ukrainians, the Sudanese, the Haitians, the Rohingya behind. The Speaker has come out in support of aid to Ukraine. He said, and I quote, "History judges us for what we do. This is a critical time in the world stage." And the Speaker continued, and I quote, "I would rather send bullets to Ukraine than American boys." I applaud Speaker Johnson for taking a stand. He is right. History will judge us for whether we stand strong or we capitulate in this moment. The moment has met us. To my colleagues on the other side of the aisle who do not support this aid, we cannot retreat from the world stage under the guise of putting America first. We put America first by demonstrating the power of American leadership, that we have the strength and the resolve and the heart to fight for the most vulnerable people, to protect their freedom and preserve their dignity. It is shameful that the urgency of this moment has gone unanswered for so long. Our allies and our adversaries have seen America all but yield back its central role in defending human rights, freedom, and democracy. If Ukraine does not receive the support needed to counter Russia's outrageous attack on its sovereign territory, the legacy of this Congress will be, as been spoken by my colleagues here this morning, the appeasement of a dictator, the destruction of an allied nation, and a fractured Europe. And yes, my colleague, Congressman McCall, has said, we can be either Neville Chamberlain or Winston Churchill. And I ask the members of this committee, what is the difference between drones, missiles, rockets raining down on Israel and drones, missiles, and rockets raining down on Ukraine? We will watch if we are not there for Ukraine. Gone will be the post-war order that has kept Europe free and prosperous. Gone will be our credibility in the eyes of our allies and our adversaries. And gone will be the America that promised to stand up for freedom, for democracy, for human rights, wherever they are threatened or wherever they are under attack. Vladimir Putin is betting that he can outlast the will and the determination of Ukraine, the United States, and other Western allies. We must prove him definitively wrong. An American general just last week quoted, and I quote, "If you cannot fire back, you are losing. Ukraine is dangerously at the point where they cannot fire back. We cannot afford to allow them to lose." In the Middle East, I wholeheartedly support funding for Israel's defense. Israel was attacked by Iran, and I applaud the role of the United States and the role that it played to provide Israel in its defense against Iran and its proxies. and we are still awaiting Israel's response to the attack they experienced over the weekend. We must ensure Israel can stand strong in the face of adversaries like Iran that seek its annihilation. We must also ensure that every step possible is taken to protect innocent life in Gaza and elsewhere. To that end, I have called for an immediate ceasefire of at least 6 weeks to facilitate the safe delivery of aid to civilians in Gaza. We must protect aid workers. We must open additional crossings to bring in at least 500 trucks a day and ensure that food is never used as a weapon of war. We need this time to help get hostages released. And the United States cannot sit by while people are starving to death. Our allies are facing existential threats, and our friends and our foes around the world are watching, waiting to see how America will respond. Putin is watching. Xi is watching. The Ayatollah Khomeini is watching. What course will America take? We cannot let any nation around the globe hold any doubt that the United States is a committed partner in the security of the free world. And we cannot shift the goalpost any further. And right now is the time to pass this bill. And I sit here this morning on this platform with colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, who are united in understanding that the moment has found us. We need to meet it, and we need to pass this legislation. I yield back.